and welcome back to Bourbon Barrel Talk. I'm your host, Scott Minton, and today we're at the AFC Bourbon Bar here in Jeffersonville, Indiana, and we have a group of ragtag individuals we're hanging out with tonight. We got Miss Sarah Young in the house. What's up, Sarah?
Hey, Scott.
How are you doing?
I'm wonderful.
How you doing?
Welcome.
Johnny Tsunami? What's up, man?
Thirsty I am.
What is it with you and the voices, dog?
I don't know. It's just a recent thing. It'll pass.
I'm digging it. I'm digging it, though. I still do. Kofi, what's up, brother?
What's up? I just put some of that fire on my tongue, and I am so ready for this show.
He didn't even wait
He's
for
ahead
us.
of us.
He's already.
You know, well, you gotta prepare a
He
little
just smoked
bit.
us in the
Let me
dust.
drink.
So
I got to give myself time to think about the taste, yo. I got to think about the taste.
Getting the palate going, huh?
But I'm happy to be here. Let's do this.
So we are going to do a quick hitter, a review of a recent bottle that I received. It is from Barrell Bourbon, and what are we sipping on over here?
The series is called Foundation, and
Foundation
it is
series.
number 5, aged 5 years, 100 proof. I believe Sarah's got the mash bill over there.
So I think the 5 year though, it's a combination, right? It's got like some 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think there might even like a 10 or 12-year-old in here. But yeah,
It's a
Sarah,
five,
what do we
5,
got
6, and 9, it says. But the mash bill is a corn, rye,
on
and
Mike? Man, come on, what's wrong with you?
I'm looking down, sorry.
Hey.
Pull it up in front of you. There you
I got
go.
you. It's a corn, rye, and malted barley. So you're at 73% corn, 23% rye, and 4% malted barley.
Hi, Rod. This is something
Yeah.
Andy would like. All right. So what's the blend though? It's got a blend of like.
What was the Marley again? I'm sorry.
The barley?
The malted barley is 4%.
4%.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So
So it's made up of, on the left-hand side of the card, I'm pretty sure it has like 10-year-old
Yep.
this.
So the blend's got you got 8-year-old Kentucky bourbon whiskeys, 5, 6, and 9-year-old Indiana bourbon whiskeys, Tennessee bourbon 8-year-old Tennessee bourbon whiskeys, sorry, and then Maryland bourbon whiskeys, 5 and 6-year-olds.
So that's a real catfish.
Maryland
What?
bourbon.
So yeah,
Explain
Maryland.
this.
Well, I mean,
3?
Maryland has distilleries. I mean,
I'm
just
just-
like anything else. Now, what I would say is typically when I think of Maryland, I typically think of their rye mash bills. So they're typically really, really high rye. Larry Abersold, when he stole that 95.5 mash bill, when he took that to MGP, it was based off the Pennsylvania and the Maryland ryes, which both were extremely high rye, like 80% or more. So
Oh, wow.
he kind of took that and married it into what he called the new Indiana high rye mash bill.
Is that because rye just does really well up there?
Yeah, it just grows very plentifully.
Nice.
So
That makes sense.
So that's the way they kind of run it with that. So
Yeah,
all right.
the shocker for me is that I really like this bourbon, and it's been maybe a week since I've had some bourbon, so maybe I'm a little thirsty for some bourbon. But
You thirsty, all right.
I always feel like I'm anti-rye, and when I tasted this, I was like, yeah, this good. And I learned in some episodes past that, truthfully, I like rye way more than I give myself credit for, and so I'm kind of pleasantly surprised when I'm like, high percentage of rye. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm becoming more rye.
It's got a real nice nose on it. It's got some
I
nice.
love the nose.
It's got some really nice, delicate fruit notes in there. Like
I'm picking up a banana, a little
Definitely
bit of
fruit.
a nuttiness, a little bit of banana.
So I'm definitely getting.
It's almost like almond nut, like that kind of.
Yeah,
like
I
style.
was going to say
Yeah.
there's definitely some nuttiness. I don't know that I'm getting necessarily banana.
It's a soft fruity taste, like
It is a
almost
soft fruit.
apricot or banana.
I was going to say I'm going stone fruit. I'm going
Yeah.
more like on that peachy,
Yeah.
like that type
Sure,
of side.
that's fair.
I smell the fruit.
But when you said banana though, then I went back in. I'm like,
It's
maybe
that-
it is kind of banana. Well, it
It's
does
that
have a lot of
banana
Tennessee whiskey
bread
in it.
baking spice
Yeah.
more, so I'm maybe getting more of that baking
I was
spice.
going to might be
kind of cake-like.
little nutmeg. Little,
Yeah, nutmeg.
Yeah, for sure.
So I don't know. Very, very unique for sure.
Do y'all not just smell the heat? I smell the heat.
It's only 100 proof. It can't be that hot.
Come on, Sarah.
Sissy.
You got this.
Okay, I'll do it. I'll
All
do
right.
it.
I taste it.
Who's going in for the first pull there?
Can we all do it at
I
once?
think Kofi's already got some. Let's
Don't mind me.
you still sampling
Don't
somebody?
mind me.
Don't mind me.
With
My
the
name is
pinky finger.
Kofi.
Don't mind me.
Oh, we
Let's
got
do
Johnny's
this.
in for it.
Uh-oh, Johnny. See, I always like it when somebody else goes first because I
that's
can
true.
kind of get their facial expression and kind of dive in from there. I'm going to go ahead and take my hit or my pull. What are you getting initially, John?
Actually, I'm getting a little bit more burn than I normally get with 100 proof.
That's what I'm
It's that
smelling.
fire.
When's the last time you've been drinking?
It's been a minute.
That's probably why.
That might be it. Yeah, might just need to warm up a little
There's
bit.
nothing hot about that, man.
Really?
No, that is
See, this is
smooth
why
as
I needed to warm up, because I was like,
I'm not no pansy though, Scott. Like I can handle it.
what are you trying to say? I'm a
Just-
pansy, man?
No, I'm not saying anyone's
No,
a
but
pansy.
that
I'm just-
rye's really coming through, man.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
is.
yeah.
It's
Okay, here I
right
go.
there on that
Here I
mid
go.
palate. There's some nice. What I would, I'm picking up more of a white pepper note on that mid palate. The funny thing is that front, it's got like that stone fruit's coming through. You're getting a little bit of that nutmeg and that baking spice.
wow.
Just a touch of cinnamon. But that mid palate's like white pepper and just like a delicate amount of that like rye, like earthy tone coming through.
See, I'm going to beg to differ with you that there's like heat on the roof of my mouth that I don't normally always like. I just drank a couple of days ago.
I was going to
so
say, when's the last time?
don't even try that
Okay.
one. I'm just feeling it for what it is proofed at. It feels hotter in my mouth. So I'm just saying that.
But look at the legs on this thing, dude. It's got legs for days.
Are you getting any minty-ness on like the roof of your mouth?
So
by
yeah,
chance?
on the roof back towards the finish.
Yeah.
There's just a
Like a
just a
sharp-
touch of mint.
which could be the malt coming through a little bit.
Mint's typically going to come from your rye spice.
It's gonna be the
yeah.
rye.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can only taste spice. I can't differentiate beyond that spice. But I'm glad I'm trying to feel that mint.
We'll have that like high malt
There it is.
Old Louisville that we reviewed a couple weeks ago, and it's not like anywhere near as strong, but I definitely am getting that mintiness towards the back.
Yeah. No, for sure.
But yeah, the rye spice is nice on the tongue.
Right.
The finish
This-
is really nice, though.
This
Agreed.
is
Right above the
definitely
collarbone.
a neat bourbon for me
Yeah.
because I have choice bourbons that I would just will only drink with like ice. This is a neat one. I can do this neat for sure. It's a perfect fall bourbon.
All right, so this is 100 proof. I don't typically do this with the 100 proof, but I'm going to put a couple of drops of water, a couple little drops off my finger there. So it opens up that rye quite a bit, at least on the nose.
My nose for sure. Ooh, I feel like there's more banana now.
Yeah, I
Definitely, yeah.
That's why we do this.
That's
why
exactly
we
what
do
it is.
this. I wish
It's on the tip of the tongue.
I didn't hear your descriptions, and I would have come off with a very clean one right
Yeah, a little bit more banana nut bread,
Once it
a
opens
little
up like
bacon
that.
spice.
You're right, Scott. That just has a nice little lingering warmth right in your
It's
chest.
got a nice Kentucky
It's a
hug,
nice
yeah.
hug,
It sits right at the collarbone or above, but it's coming like great. So for 100 proof, I mean, it hits all the bases there.
It's not overly sweet, and I'm a little surprised by that. Like I didn't get a lot of any kind of heavy caramel. Vanilla,
I was actually
going
to say that. Like, it's not a lot of
Agreed.
sweetness.
Agreed.
So Barrell's more known for their barrel strength stuff, right? Like they'll make a nice blend, a unique blend of something, and they typically like to run it at barrel strength. So you're gonna see a lot of their stuff at that 110 to 115 range.
Okay.
But with this one being, that foundation series and having it proof down to 100 proof, it really is a unique, different, threshold, I think, from what they normally release.
Well, they have 4 regions of different bourbon whiskeys that they're drawing from too. That might have something to do with it.
Yeah, for sure. I'm just kind of curious how it will all play out.
And yeah, in the mash bill, you say it was a Kentucky,
Indiana, Maryland, and Tennessee.
and
Yep.
Indiana. Wow.
I feel like with the water, it kind of crushes the nose a little bit.
I agree.
I'm not getting much
It
like
offsets it a little bit,
anymore.
yeah.
I'm almost betting the
probably did 60.
MGP is probably a 36% mash bill. It's probably that high rye, and then everything else is kind of derived from that. Is how we get to that 23% mash.
Okay,
So
okay.
because when you look at Tennessee whiskey, typically they're going to be like 84%, corn, 8 and 8. So I mean, in order to get to 23, you're going to have something that's high rye. So I'm assuming they're getting that off the Indiana mash bill with that MGP.
I like the coloring of it. It's
Got
very
good
light.
color. It's got some nice legs. There is one odd note that I'm just having trouble picking up, and I can't figure out what it is.
on the nose or palate.
It's kind of on the it's on like the palate, like the front to mid. But I've watered it, or I proofed it down a little bit more, so it's even harder to pick up now.
It's like, to me, that missing note is like a wood of some sort. It's like, I don't know. I hear you though. It's like sharp.
Yeah, it's definitely some oak, but I just can't really. I
From
don't
wood
know.
to oak. Okay.
All right, going on a pretty big leap here.
Let's go.
I know that no one but me is a big fan of the Bloody Butcher corn.
Oh,
and the red corn, but it's got something like almost a burnt. I won't say burnt corn, but it's reminding me of something in that Bloody Butcher.
Yeah.
That flavor profile.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
just
could-
just right kind of off-putting, and then it kind of smooths out as it goes down.
I can't say one way or the other whether I agree with you on that. It is definitely unique. I wonder if they refinished these in some capacity or if it was strictly just a blend out. So I don't know.
You think it's drawn from maybe the toasted, like a toast barrel?
Like maybe if they put it in a secondary barrel or a finishing barrel,
Yeah.
not necessarily a full-on toast or a double oak, but like maybe they kind of put all the whiskey together and then put it back into barrels to kind of let it marry, and then dumped it into the holding tank and let it marry again. I don't know.
Okay.
And I'm purely speculating. I have no idea what they did or didn't do. So on the back, is there any other notes or anything like that, or did they put any tasting notes on the on the back of the bottle? Did we miss anything?
I think it's exactly the same on this as it is there.
Yeah,
so
I just want to make sure Tsunami's got it. So nothing. Okay,
Not
that's
a
fair.
ting.
Nope.
Nope.
We've got it all covered thus far.
All right, it's definitely a unique pour. I'm going to go first with whether I want it neat or with a splash of water. I'm going to take it neat, but it's a good solid pour. And then you got a note over there. What's the note say from the peanut gallery?
Burnt popcorn.
Burnt popcorn. You know what? That's kind of It does have
Okay.
some popcorny type.
Yes, God,
Flavor.
Tsunami's knowing shit tonight.
There you go.
Even though that wasn't my note. Hey, I said burnt corn.
Yeah, no,
Burnt
you said
corn.
burnt something, but
You
yeah,
did.
burnt popcorn.
He said corn.
That makes a little bit more sense than the bloody butcher piece of it. But I was almost like, well, I tell you, so
Thanks, God.
when I first started sipping it oddly reminded me of mildly like the Michter's Toasted, like the Michter's
yeah.
Toasted bourbon that got released
Definitely.
like last year, like the 2022, I think.
Michter's Toasted.
Is that the one where we did a review of the rye and the toasted bourbon?
So yes, but
so.
the one we tried though was the 2018. The 2021 had some unique notes, and it wasn't as like the 2014, I think 2016 and 2018 all were like, to me, had like marshmallow, like s'mores type notes
Campfire.
to it, campfire type things. Whereas 2021 was not quite as robust on that sweet side. This reminds me more of like that, but still sweet, but not, it's not as sweet as the 14, 15, 16,
Right,
18s were. So I don't know, just that kind of thought process. What do you think, Kofi?
The toasted resonated with me. I agree with that from some of the bourbons that I've had. It's just it's hitting a sweet spot that I enjoy. If I were to have it, I'm going to have it neat.
Neat? Tsunami?
I'm going to have to agree with both you gentlemen.
Neat.
Neat for me.
I think Sarah said neat early on.
I said this is a neat one, but the more we tasted it and opened it up, I'm on the fence about it, to be honest with you.
Okay.
And I would almost say that I would love it at an old fashioned. I could see that.
So listen, we
I know.
can arrange that. We know somebody that makes cocktails here.
Okay,
Boom,
good.
boom.
Perfect. I may make myself one.
Stay tuned for part 2 as we drink these in cocktails.
Absolutely. So I think that's our review of Barrell Bourbon Foundations number 5.
Do we know price wise? What are we looking at? If people
So
want to
typically
pick
Barrel
up?
Bourbon is going to be in the $99 to $109 range. I mean, they're just for most of their standard stuff. Some of their stuff will get up to the $129, $139 range, but they're in that $100 range.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty much where they sit at. So
Available at your bigger stores. You can
I think
find
that'll
it.
be available just about anywhere where they carry that type of product. I mean, a little bit more on the higher end specialty side. You're
Right.
probably not going to find that at Kroger, but you'll find it at Total Wine or Big Red
Big
or
Red.
one of those places. I would think that you'll see it pretty regularly wherever at that point. So
Very nice.
I am a fan.
all right. Well, that's our episode of Burn Barrel Talk. If you want to find us, you can find us on Facebook, the Instagram, or the X since it's not
marks the
Twitter anymore.
spot.
If you want to make sure you hit the subscribe button, or so that way you get those episodes as soon as they're hit the market on Sunday mornings. This is Scott, Sarah, Johnny Tsunami, and Kofi signing off. Peace.